Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great week so far. We're going live today just to talk a little bit about what we left off with last time, which was creating a track list for our DJ app, where we'll be able to populate the track list with metadata that we got into the application in our last live stream. So before we get started, just wanted to point you to the GitHub repo, which is also in the video description below. If you're trying to learn more about coding or creating audio players or anything like that with C++ and JUCE, check it out. It's also a great place to start learning how to use CMake if you're just getting started with that, like myself. So with that being said, I will jump into things. So last place we left off is that we had this application, which is just currently building. And we have this this track list view. So this is just a shell at the moment that that we created at the end of the last live stream. And you could load the track up now. And when I do this, it correctly shows the artist and the name of the track. And it has a waveform here. So we're starting to get some of the basic elements of what you would expect to see in a DJ application. And what we'll do is we will work on this a little bit further. So the main part that we're concerned with today is trying to get a list of tracks that are inside a directory to populate this list view. As you can see, there's nothing there yet because we haven't created anything. So this would be a great live stream for people that are trying to learn how to get that functionality into their application. And also for people that are thinking about questions like, if I'm using CMake, how do I actually create new source files and do those sort of things? So yeah, so that's basically what we're going to be focused on in this tutorial. Not really a tutorial, more like a coding journey, a live coding journey. So at the moment, I have this table list box. So I'm just going to go over here and just go to the JUCE API, and we'll go back to table list box. So I'm going to need to just refresh my memory on this, which is, actually, interestingly, I thought that we were going to need to create a table list model, but it looks like those the table. Oh yeah, so table list box actually has a table list model. This is going to be interesting because I was trying to keep the data processing and the UI behavior of different components separate, or of this application separate. But what I'll do is I will try to just instantiate the box model, which is going to, I'm assuming, process the metadata for the table list box, and then I'm going to try to bring that into let's see if that could just be in the same class, or if that needs to go into a different a whole separate class. So yeah, so let's see. So let's take a look at table list box model. So And we can see that it says one of these is used by a table list box as the data model for the table box's contents. So the virtual methods that you override in this class will take care of drawing tables and reacting to events. So let's take a look here. So let's see, how do we actually populate this? So we got this paint cell. So I'm wondering, so as we see, so the question is, does the table list box actually come built in with a model itself, right? So we can take a look at that and answer that question by jumping into the documentation here. And what we want to see is, in this table list box, we see that it's a list box model. So got it. So let's see here. So is a list box model different from a table list box model? That's my next question. So just going to open this in a new tab now. So subclass used to drive a list box. So, all right, let's go back here and see if there is a table list box model that this instantiates on its own. So just going to look into the private. So we can see here that there is a pointer. There is a pointer to a model here. So I guess this means that we can instantiate it internally rather than needing to create one separately, right? The way that we did something very similar to within with the using the Git header. So in Git header, we were able to actually get a header that was bundled in with the table with this component. All right, so let's see if we can do something similar here. And so let's see. So we want table box model, and then I guess the other thing is we want to see, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth, but I'm going to go back to table list. I want to go to the constructor of this and see if it allocates a model. So that's not what I want. So let's see here. So this, let's see. So this is like a row comp. Class, that's not what I want. So we got update, resize, mouse down. So I'm just looking for how this is actually initialized. Okay, so I can see here that when this table list box is instantiated, that that we can see that it actually allocates a header. So it actually allocates this. So I'm just going to go back to, the documentation here. So okay. So I can actually pass in a table list box model. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this just in the same class to start off with, and then we'll move it back out. So to its own place. So we will call this table list box model. Let's see if it needs to be initialized at all. Okay. Box model. We can see that it just has an empty constructor. All right. So now we see as well that that this is an abstract class. So okay, so that's fine. What this means is that our best path here is now to create our own class that will inherit from table list box model, and then we will implement the pure virtual methods that we need to do. And like I said, we'll do this in here for now, and then we'll move it out to its own to a separate source file when we feel that we have this down solid. So I'll call this Tracklist model, and this will inherit from JUCE table list box model. So now we have public and private methods, and this is this could be a blessing in disguise for us, because I was starting to wonder if we needed to extend off of table list box model to implement our own functionality that may do more than what's built in, but we'll take a look. So we have a couple pure virtual methods here that we're going to need to implement, and we know that because it has this equals 0 at the end. So I will just grab this. So this is a void, and then I'll see if we can sensibly just do this in a header file. This needs to be override as well. And then we have this paint cell. So we got draw the background behind one of the rows in the table, and then we got one that's draw one of the cells. Okay, so this needs to have the JUCE namespace there. And then here we go. So JUCE again. This is void. Since this is a pure virtual method, we must override it. So So this is, so now we have this. And then what we want to do is we want to create one of these. So we will do track list model. I don't think that it needs to be I don't think that it needs to be a pointer. I don't see any reason why it would need to be. So I'm just going to just call it directly. So track list model, like that. Then what I could do is I could just pass it in here. So we got table list box. So what we could do is give this component a name and then pass it in a pointer to the table list model. Okay, so the component name, we'll just call it track list. And then track list model. Okay, let's just see if that actually works. Okay, interesting. Maybe I missed a virtual method from table list box model. Okay, so it's still not quite building. Get num rows is also and that returns an int. Get num rows. And override. And then, okay, let's try building that again, see if it compiles. Oh, still no matching constructor. Okay, so track list model. So the compiler isn't aware that track list model is a table list box model. I'm wondering if I could do a dynamic cast. Of track table list box model. And then this needs to be a pointer. And then this will be like that. Let's see if it, okay. Oops, this needs to be JUCE now. Okay, cool. We got build succeeded. Fantastic. Cool. So while we're thinking about our next step, we got a question from Frequency. Is there a large job market in audio software development? Do they pay well, or do you do it for entertainment? That's a great question. So I would say there is a market for audio software development. So when we say audio software development, that can mean a lot of different things. So what we're talking, so this particular niche of audio software development is what I would call, or what people call pro audio, which means audio applications and audio plugins for people who are in the audio industries, people who make music, people who DJ, musicians, and things like that. But there are quite a few sectors in the audio software development market. So audio software development can refer to cars, so audio for cars. It could refer to game audio. It can refer to it can also refer to consumer audio, so things like speakers, so like consumer speakers like Sonos or Bose. It can also refer to so what else have I missed there? So those are a couple of different fields. Also, you have like software development, which is what we're doing right now, so a software application, but you also have embedded software development. You have embedded development, which is where you're developing for a specific type of chip. That, so for instance, let's say you were working for Bose and you had to create DSP that did filtering for a speaker. Then that algorithm would need to live on the chip. And so there is a subset of audio software development that's for embedded development, where you specially optimize digital signal processing algorithms to fit specifically on a chip. So do they pay well? Well, it depends. Depends on where you're working. Oh, I remember what I was going to say about the other subset of audio software development that we rarely think of, which is telecommunications. So talking on a phone, that uses audio. So basically anything that involves hearing, listening to audio involves audio software development. I mean, maybe and now you have another subset, which is like music information retrieval, where you're trying to do things like playlist prediction, trying to do feature extraction on music, stem separation. So all of those things are all part of what I would term as audio software development. So do they pay well? It depends on the company, depends on so many factors, depends on the company, depends on your experience, depends on your location. So you're going to get paid differently in Silicon Valley than you would in a lot of places in Europe. It just really depends, and depends on what you mean by pay well. So do I do this for entertainment? I don't know if I do it really for this channel, that I do it specifically for entertainment. I would say that I do it to help myself learn and to help others learn. So it's more about education, about learning together, about community, and that side of things. So that's the reason why I do it. My best talents personally, I'm an okay developer. I can talk software development. My best talents are actually more kind of in the management, on the management side, helping to build teams, helping to facilitate teams, help to develop products, things like that. But I truly enjoy what I'm doing here. And this is something that, doing these live streams and doing tutorials and stuff is something that I love. This is like a hobby. This is like a hobby for me, learning. So, yes, so that's kind of a long-winded answer, but I hope it answers your question, and it helps answer some questions. I should probably do some videos that talk a little bit more about audio software development, the different sectors, things like pay and things like that. So I hope that answers your question. And with that, let's go on with the show. So one thing that I noticed is that we got down here in my console, we got this program ended with exit code 9, which means that something didn't exit properly. This should actually say 0 down here at the bottom. But fortunately, I think I actually know where that error is coming from. I hope I know where it's coming from. And that is from the audio player class. I remembered, and it's funny how sometimes you actually these things kind of come into your brain randomly. But I actually remembered randomly that I had created a raw pointer here the other day in my last live stream, but I actually forgot to delete it at the end. So what I need to do is down here at the end, I need to delete tag. So let's see if this works now. I'm curious to see if that will solve our exit problem. Okay, so there's our application. It's building properly and everything. And now I'm going to exit and see. Now we got exit code 0. So that actually fixed our problem. So yeah, I'm wondering if it would be better practice for me to actually implement this into a unique pointer, just wrap this in a unique pointer and get rid of this, because if I need to move this, it could be very easy to forget to bring this along, and then I'll run into the same problem again. So so let me see here if I can remember how to do this. Raw tag. So now all of my stuff is going to start complaining, and then I think it will be auto tag equals stud unique. No, stud unique pointer. And then I'll make this tag lib tag, and then I will pass in raw tag. And then that's a more, so now I'm just going to make sure that that works properly, but that is actually a more, what would you call that? Best practices compliant way of doing this. So, so there you go. So we just created the raw pointer and then wrapped that raw pointer in a unique pointer so that we don't have to worry about any manual calls to delete the raw pointer once it goes out of scope and get a memory leak. So, okay, so now back to our track list view. So we got this, so we've correctly implemented, we've created a class that inherits from table list box model. We've created the pure virtual methods and we've implemented those here. And now we just need to figure out how to actually get some information in there. Okay, so the difference between this paint row background and paint cell is a little bit confusing for me. I'm trying to think of the difference because I would have in my mind, I guess I would have imagined that you would just paint the background, then put anything on top of that over it in one function call. So I'm very curious to see what that to see how those are differentiated. So I'm not quite sure of what that actually means, but I'm just taking a look at the actual arguments for these now and seeing if there's any, I think one way that we could differentiate these is just throw some code in there and see if it works, right? So So let's just try that, right? So what we can do is, let's just see here. So if we do we need a graphics object here. Same thing here. So I'm just going to colors white. So this should be nice and easy to see. So so just thinking of how to actually do this. What do we actually want here? So it looks like paint row background is meant to be called within the track list view, right? So let's just see if we can get one of these to show up. I have no idea how to use this class, but let's just see what happens. So we'll do list box, get model. Then we wanted paint row background. And then this is going to be G, row number 0. We'll make the width 80. We'll make the height 30. And is row selected. So let's see what this means. Oh, I guess it just means would it be selected by default? So I guess I will just put that false. So let's just see what happens here. Okay, so far we don't see anything. We also don't even see that. Yes, this was a thing that we pointed out at the end of our last live stream, which is that we have this fill all that's supposed to be coloring the background black, but we see here that it's not doing that here, right? So the reason that it's not doing that is because this is just the component, which is actually all of this here, all of this visual element that we see here. But what we actually see for this background is not the component, but it's actually the list box. Okay, so list box is a component, right? So let's see if we can just call so list box fill. So how would we call that? So okay, so this is interesting as well, because does this mean that track list view needs to inherit table list box? I'm starting to get the feeling that that's the case. right? So yeah. So table list box is a component, right? So does it have like a set color? It should, I think. So let's, I know it's not showing up here, but since it's a component, it should have a set color. So so it should be something like list box set color. And now we just need to find the correct color ID. Of course, it doesn't lead us to anywhere. So let's see. So so table list box is a type of list box. So let's see if we have any methods there. Okay, so here we see that we have this enum that is our color IDs, where we can change the text, outline, or background of this. So we will try to do this to change our. So this should be JUCE list box color IDs, background color ID, and then JUCE colors black. Okay, now if that does that, then this should now have a black background if we've done this correctly. Okay, and we see that it still does not. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, that has surprised me a bit. Okay. Just making sure that table list box. Is it that I need to put it here? Aha, that's what I need to do. I needed to initialize it because it was painting. It was painting it, and then it was immediately painting over it with the default color. So great. Now we have that colored black. Fantastic. Okay. So that works properly. Now let's see. Okay, I'm just trying to get yeah, it's feeling like I need to have a whole class that inherits from Tracklist view, or not Tracklist view, that inherits directly from table list box and has its own paint method. Okay, so let's try that now. So there's going to be a little bit of trickery, syntactic trickery around this part. I'm trying to remember how syntactically that actually works with an inherited, when you inherit from a class that does not have a empty constructor, but we'll work through it. Okay, so all right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to inherit directly from this, doing JUCE track, table list box. Okay. This can actually stay as is. Okay. Then let's see, does table list box have any pure virtual methods that we need to implement? No. Okay, so that is so paint. So we got this paint list box item. Okay. So tracklist view. Let's see if I'm going down the wrong path here. Oh, I think this can actually be empty. And then I do something, and then I do this, if I remember correctly, which would be tracklist view, and then JUCE table list box. And then I just initialize this here. So this would be tracklist. And then this dynamically casted tracklist model. Okay, and of course it's not going to know what list box is because I got rid of that. So let's get rid of these. And then I can just do set color directly. I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to do this anymore, because now it is a list box. And then I should be able to actually just call this now g.fill all, then JUCE colors black. Okay, we got build succeeded. Okay, sort of, right? So the reason that it painted, so it says paint row background white, is because I have white here. Interesting. Okay, so now let's go back here and let's see what happens. Okay, so this, okay, cool. So we have, so it's back to black again. Cool. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to try to call this paint cell call and just see what happens. See what happens here. So I'm just experimenting around just to paint cell. Then this is G. This will be row number 0. Column ID will be track, which is 1. So this may be more what I was looking for. And then false. And now we should have one row that shows up that's white. And I think we will be, no, I painted the whole thing again. Interesting. Okay. Now I'm puzzled. Okay, so let's go back to table list box. I think I saw a I saw another function that I missed. So we got what is this paint list box item? Okay. Okay. Let's go back here. We'll make this white again. Okay. And okay, so what I'm thinking is that let's go back to the model for a second. I'm thinking that it's somehow setting the bounds of the model to the entire bounds of the component. Okay, so let's just take a look at what that. So wait, so it's a data model, so it's not a component. This is confusing. It's for the contents. So let's go back to table list box model and look at this class. So we got this, it says, okay. Look at the documentation, that's a good tip. This must draw the background behind one of the rows in the table. Graphics context has its origin at the row's top left. And your method should build an area specified by the width and height. So be careful that you don't assume that it's less than get number of rows. What is this? This may be more what I'm looking for. This is used to create a custom component to go in a cell. The cell may contain a custom component that might need to be updated when the table is changed. Bear in mind that even if you're not creating a new component, you may still need to delete. Must create a new component suitable for the cell, then return it. Yeah, so got it. Starting to get there. So it needs to create no, but we just tried to do something simple with paint cell. Okay, so let's just go back again. Let's do it's interesting. What if I just do something really small? Just trying to figure out why it's painting the entire background. And okay. Let's set a breakpoint here. Actually, let me go back here. Okay, and I will step over this. Now I will, so now I'm just going to inspect what's actually happening here, see if I can get a sense of what's happening. Okay, so it gets sorry, I was just thinking about something. Okay, so step over. We're going to step into this. So it gets the model, paints the row backgrounds, right? So that fills. Okay. Right. Didn't really give me anything. I'm a little bit puzzled on this. Yeah, same thing. Let's go back to model again. Paint cell. It's so strange. This doesn't. So this is a model for the entire table list. Takes care of drawing table cells and reacting to events. This must draw the background behind one of the rows in the table. So this is what I don't. To me, this is like create a new row, right? Okay, so let's go back to this. Okay. I need to call repaint row. This is confusing. What's the list? What's the difference between a table list box model and a list box model? So the thing is, right? Okay, so just thinking about this a little bit further. When we pass these in to paint cell, it's not actually doing anything. Right. So there needs to be something in here that there's something missing here. So we need something. Maybe there's something in table list box model that actually creates okay. Here we go. I'm fine. Here we go. This is looking like get component for row number. Okay. Get component. So let's go back to let's go in here. Table list. So what's underneath the hood of this? This is confusing as heck. What the heck is going on here? Okay. So it's a list box and a list box model. You pass in. So let's see how the model is actually being used. List box, assign model pointer. So then we've got M. All right, so let's see. Let's just look through what M is doing. What model is doing, rather. Okay, so we got a set model. Let me just do, maybe it's not. Select rows change. Background clicked, list was scrolled. None of this. So like accessibility stuff. Okay. So what about row com? So am I not successfully adding a new row? Like, how does it know that I'm adding a new how does it know that I'm actually adding a new row? Right? I've kind of lost track of where I'm at. So set the header. Get the position. So let's just see if it actually is successfully adding a row, right? Because I thought paint cell would, no, but it doesn't do anything else. So get none rows. So we will just do this. Rows. Let's check this out. Okay, so it does say 1, right? So let me see now if I do this. So paint cell row number. So let me see if I do the same thing, but I just switch the row number to 2. Let's see if it creates another row. No, it does not. Okay, so that doesn't do what I, in my mind, naively. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Okay. So now we need to go back to this list box. I'm looking for something like create row, something like that. Where the heck does that? So it has a lot of like get. Repaint row. Set row, select row. You know, I'm starting to wonder if I'm supposed to create a component that is a row, is a cell. Is that what is happening here? Is that what the problem is? Get cell tooltip. No, because so let's go back. Let's go back to what this said. This is my best clue so far. This is used to create or update a custom component to go in a cell. So this is what confused me, but now it says any cell may create a custom component or can just be drawn with the paint cell method and handle mouse clicks. So that made me feel like there's a component that gets created. So this, yeah, it doesn't know. Yeah, so this must draw one of the cells. Okay, so let's do this. G dot draw right. 0, 0 width, height. G dot set color. Choose colors. White. Okay. Okay. Cool. So we actually have a cell. Okay. Cool. So now I'm getting a better idea of what this is supposed to do. Okay. So this paints one cell. So now if I do this, if I do 2, let's see what happens here. Nothing, of course. Okay, and if I do this, this doesn't do anything either because it doesn't know what a row is. Okay, so we're getting warmer. So we've actually got so painting a cell is, but then still don't understand what's supposed to. It must be an example. I probably should have looked at this a long time ago. JUCE table list box model. Table list box example. Funny enough, there is a JUCE tutorial of this. Okay. So reading data from an XML. Okay, this is a lot different than what I envisioned. Okay. The base component class allows us to display tables in JUCE. The list box. The list box behavior is managed by a list box model, which describes the data model to display. This is useful, but in order to turn this into a property, we can use the table list. In numbers. Use the graph. There we go. This is what I want. Okay, it didn't, yeah, it's frustrating. It didn't actually tell me that I need to like actually create a custom component. So the table list box can hold custom components in its cells other than just text. So we got this XML. Table, get header. Add column from the header. It's from the header, not from. Okay, so let's go back to. Where's the table list box component? This is what I was looking for. Is there like an add row? Add column. Got it. So this is where it's. This is. No. I did that. I did that already. Okay, so. Yeah, I did that. Okay, let's go back to the tutorial. So what's tutorial data? That's the XML. Maybe that's not what I want. Okay. Incorporate a toggle button with an editable label. Okay. So you create this. So you create this label. Okay. Ooh, this is much tougher than I anticipated. Hmm. Okay. So, table tutorial component. So how was that passed then? Okay, so I've got these, reversed then. Wow. Okay, so I had this all wrong. Okay, so let's create a new class. Boy, class. Cell component. So let's call this track list cell. This will inherit from JUCE public JUCE label. Got public and private. Yeah, a little bit different than what I thought this was. So track list cell, and this will take in. So let me see if I have this set up the same way. So this is a component that is a table list box model. This is not confusing at all, right? When implementing a box, inheriting. So where's the table list box? So is a table list box a table list box model? No. One of these is used by a table list box. This is so confusing. Table list box and this, right? Right, so then you pass. This is freaking confusing. So you create a table list box model that has a table list box. Right. This is like JUCE table list box model. Not confusing at all. Okay. Then this has JUCE table list box. Wow. I would just call this Tracklist. And then pass in this because this is Here we define the table box member variable. Model class holds the table itself in this scenario. I'd love to see some other scenarios like that, maybe look more like the one that I was. Wow. So in this class constructor, we add table box as the child component. Okay, that's fine. I just want to know how to actually add a cell now. Okay. Raw text. This is wild. I would have probably been better off just creating my own class like this. This is just, it's pretty interesting how they set this up. So let's see how to create a cell again. So okay. Okay. Default background for the table. In order to fill the cells with content, we override the paint cell. Okay, how do you actually create a row? How do you actually create a cell? That's what I want to know. Okay. Yes, this is what I want. Selection, oh, selection box, selection column. Wow. Set row and column. Selection column custom component. Selection column custom component. Oh, that's not what I want. Selection. No, that's not right. It's something that they created in the in here. So selection box custom component is this this is wild. Expected name. Okay, so what did I do wrong here? Oh, this is because of all this. JUCE. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm gonna just try to create something very, very simple to start off with. Okay, just based off of this table tutorial component. So I don't think we need to put any, I don't think that we need to do that. Oh no, we do. So then you pass in so you pass this in. It's just so. Okay. Then the label keeps track of the row and column ID. Got it. Okay. So this now needs to go above this because this needs to know. So this needs to know so track list view and list. And then we need a track list view reference. So I'll just call this L here. List. Okay. Oh yeah. list box. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get rid of all this for now and put all of this in the header for the moment, just so I can have everything and try to figure out what the heck is going on. So now this is going to be the list box. Right. Oh, no, it's this reversed. So get header, add column. Okay. Oh, table header. Oh, this is just a dot. And we'll get it right one of these days. Yeah. Unused parameters. So this is all just old stuff. That should all go away. Oh, build fail. Tracklist view is an abstract class. Okay, so now we go back here, and now we need to add. So this is a table box model. Okay, so now we go back to adding these. Been a while since I've had this type of challenge in implementing a JUCE class. Just think that I may have thought of this a little bit differently than the way that it actually is. Okay. So this needs to be JUCE. This needs to be JUCE. So here we go. Just trying to get this compiling again. Oh, still got a. All right, just gonna comment this out for a moment. Okay. Track view. Okay, so I'm just kind of pulling back on all this stuff and just implementing it from scratch, just trying to get it compiling again. Okay, cool. So here we are. We don't see anything again. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we need to do next. Okay, so we got this component. Right, so now let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, so now we have this class that's inheriting from a label. So let's see here. So and then this is a button. Don't necessarily don't need that. So okay. Just gonna copy this back into here. Shall we make it a component or a label? Label. And then set. Okay. Then I'm just, so we need an int row and column ID. Oh yeah, so I need to initialize this. So and int row, int column ID. Okay. I just want to get something just displaying. Okay, so this is going to help us figure out what row and column that we're in. This would be list. There we go. So far, get text. The member name. Oh, so let's see here. Following function is called by the table list box model. All right, so table, so that is track view list, right? Track view list is a table box model. So how did they do that without casting? So let's just go back a little bit here. I don't know how they got away with that without needing to do a cast, but okay. That's okay. So let's see. So set text. How do I do that in this? So dynamic cast. And then this would be a JUCE table list model. Minor. Oh, here we go. So I need to do something like this. If list is equal to yeah. Tracklist view and table. Oh, if let's see. Yeah, that works, but that's not. Oh, is get list is get text a function that they implemented. Get text. Oh, it's from XML element. That's not what I need. Yeah, this is the problem with trying to just trying to just grab pieces from a tutorial is that it's never quite the same. Okay, so let's see what we're trying to do here. So this is actually getting the text of, I'll just put in here blah. Don't need this anymore. I just want something to display. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, then let's go down to how we actually get this set, to actually show. Sets the bounds of the toggle button. So all of that is irrelevant to us at the moment. Then so how to make the table visible. Okay, set the colors, get header. We're getting there. It's rows 0. So we have this other pure virtual function get num rows that we need to implement. I'll put this up here. Return num rows. Okay. Then all right, so now what do we got? Paint row backgrounds. So I'm fine with this just being just g dot set fill all black. Okay, then right, it's not using any of the other stuff. We got this paint cell. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Where are they bringing in the where are they bringing in the what's it called, the label? Editable text custom component. Editable text custom. Okay, the following function is called when creating or updating, sets the row. Okay, we did that. Okay. So this is what we need. Refresh component for cell. Okay. Is that right? Refresh component for cell. See the table box model. Then okay. So what did we call this? We called this tracklist cell. If selection box is equal to null pointer, This will be a new track list cell. Just make this 1. I'll make this 2. I'm just going to make all of this to implicitly deleted. Does this need to be before this? Sorry. Oh boy. This is a lot more than I bargained for. Okay. No matching. A no name track list view. Okay, so we got a problem in that it's in that one thing needs to know they need to know about each other, but yeah, let me just fix a couple of these other ones. Right. Okay. So I'm just making all these the same for now. Just trying to get something to compile and show up here. So now we have, now our problem is that track list cell needs to know about track list view, and track list view needs to know about track list cell. So you got, so we need to, okay, why? So my question here is, why does track list cell need to pass this in? I don't think it needs to. So let's just go back to this again. So going to that where they created that label. So where was this? Okay. So we got owner. So we do have this. Okay, I don't really care about that for now. Okay. I'll come back to that. That's all right. Just trying to get something displaying. And then I can come back for this later. Okay, this is override. No problem. Then what did we have? No matching constructor for track list cell. That's because it doesn't need. Okay. Then we're just going to clean up some of this code. So we're we're getting somewhere. And this. Promise that I'll make this this all look nice and neat after, and like actually clean up the code after once I've actually got everything kind of semi figured out. Okay. So this, and then this. All right. So now let's see, we're gonna get some, we'll probably still get some failings. Oh no, it did succeed. Okay, cool. So now tracklist view should be able to, we should be able to bring this back in now. This, so we should see just something, but probably not much because, oh, we don't see anything at all. Okay, cool. That's all right, because I think I missed something here. So let's go back to tracklist view again, and we need to do add and make visible, and we make the list box visible. And then we should be able to say list box set bounds. Oh. Yeah, local bounds. Now we should see something. Great. Okay, so now we actually see this again, which is cool. Now we want to, let's set the background of this to black. This box set color. Choose list box color IDs, backgrounds, color ID, choose colors black. Okay, so now it's black. Okay, so far so good. Now we need to figure out how to actually create just create a cell, right? So that goes back to the tutorial. Then so this is where we instantiate. So now the question becomes where do we actually call this? Refresh component. Is that where? Is that something I need to figure out myself now? So when a sort order is change is requested by the user, the sort order change callback function is called. Sort order changed. Okay. So is that it here? So that's on the table header component. Okay, so I just saw it. Sort order changed. This callback is made when the table sort order is changed. So we got table header component. So, okay, so now we need to think about when do we actually want to create a new component? So this would be, so would this be like a change listener callback? So what's a tutorial data sorter again? Tutorial data sorter. So we got this. Okay. I don't think that we need to do all of this. So what we would need to do, I think what we would need to do is the place, so the place where the component would be let me just do dg dot and then JUCE. I'll just put a random color in here, like orange red. I like orange red. Okay, so that's for so just making sure table list box model isn't like some type of change listener. So now I'm going to do a JUCE change listener. So this is going to listen for changes from. So now I just wanted to do kind of a just dummy. I don't want to say dummy, but just some sort of little sample like use case here. Just something simple, just to make it cause a change and see if it actually like paints something. So we got this, we need to implement change listener. So then go change listener callback and then JUCE change broadcaster source. Is that right? Or is that a pointer? It's a pointer. Okay. Then in here, That's just called refresh component for cell. And we will do row number will be 0, column ID will be 1, this will be false. And then existing component to update. Or no, what am I saying here? No, so let's go back here. Create or update a. Oh, okay, so I can just leave that null pointer. Can I do something where change broadcaster or cause a change listener to actually let's see. So just trying to think of where to trying to think of how I can like sensibly wire this up like super quickly just to test it, see if something actually happens. I'll just put something in here. Just to actually show that a change has been called. So let's just make sure this actually all builds first of all. Okay, so everything builds. So now, let me just do this. If I go back to the main component, should be able to just wire something up quickly. So what was it called? Track view add so how can I, so let's see. So which one of these is a change broadcaster? Actually, I could just, I'll just do it from the device manager. No, not the device manager. What about audio? Is my audio player a change broadcaster? That's the processor. Yes, so audio player state. So can I just call that from here, from main component? I don't know. Player one state. No, it's not going to do it. Let me just do device manager. And change listener. And then track view. This is not obviously what I would, this is not like what this is supposed to do in practice. I'm just trying to see if it'll actually paint something in the cell here. So, but it doesn't. I'm not seeing anything. So like maybe if I do this. Okay, so a change was called, but it didn't repaint. Let's see here. Okay, but that could be for a number of reasons. That could be because so that could be because we haven't set a timer for it to repaint. It could be because it didn't work properly. There are a number of reasons why that may not have worked. Okay, so now let's go back into, let me go back into here. Let me see if I can just call repaint and see if it actually works. Oh man, I'm getting all lost. It did call it. Just repaint. Let's see. So refresh component for cell. We'll call this. So it sets the row and column. But then, hold on. So it creates a new component, but I still need to set it somewhere. So then let's see. So that creates a new label. This is what I don't quite get is we have paint row background and paint cell, right? But so we've got select row and column. So it gives us a new component. But then we have to actually put the component on. So let's go back to the tutorial again and see. Let's go back down. Okay, just looking for that. Here we go. We're getting there. So this goes through the XML and draws text, right? But we don't want that. We want so this instantiates it, but I'm not sure if there's a best practice on the way to draw it. So it refreshes it, gives us a new component. So maybe I don't need it in change listener callback. So it gives us a new component. Then the question becomes, how do we actually set the component? Set the component on the on the screen. Let's go to the forum. Boy. Refresh. That's what's it called? Refresh component for cell. So Yeah. I feel you. Sort this by latest post. Oh. I'm a little stuck. Well, I know what the problem is. The problem is that, so the way that I have it at the moment is that change listener callback is called. I call refresh component for cell, which would create a new component for me. But now my question is, where am I supposed to draw it? You know, that's like, what's the best practice for how I'm supposed to draw it is the real question. The component draws itself. Okay, where? How? This class is really confusing. This is crazy confusing. So, okay, so Martin says the component draws itself. You're instantiating an actual JUCE component. So the table or list box or whatever does add and make visible and set bounds. Right. This leads me nowhere. But where do you actually, okay, so then it's like, where do you actually update the table? Then it does that. Is there like an update or something? Update. I must, what's this? Update content. Okay, so then I need to go back down to change listener callback. And I need to call list box update content. All right, let's see if this works. Audio error is empty. Oh no. Have I run into a problem? Where? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm all good here. Now I'm going to just change this, and then it should. No, didn't do anything. So that should have, yes, that called the change, but it didn't draw anything. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that for now because I'm just trying to get this going. Okay, list box. List box update content. So list box. Wait, so the only thing is now I've called my table box, table list box. So right, that should be right. Update content. Why didn't it do that? So it calls the change properly. So do this. Change gets called, but nothing happens. I'd get rid of your refresh component call and the paint. Then breakpoint at wait, I get rid of your refresh component call. Then breakpoint the refresh component for cell. Okay. Oh. So here we go. So that is that. Keep the update context. Right. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Martin and I are talking in semi-real time. Put the breakpoint inside your implementation. Ah, got it. Okay. Well, I mean, that could have I could have done that in multiple ways. Okay, here we go. Now I do that. All right. So if column ID equals 1, so that should go in there. So it's a tracklist cell. Okay, creates a new one. Then I'm assuming we want to jump in here. Steps through, steps through, steps through. Then it just returns it. It doesn't actually paint it. Okay, so then, then we come out of this. Then we do update content. So I'm going to jump in here. Check model pointer is valid. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here, make sure it's okay, then all right, so that comes out of that. It's done initial in. Okay. Oh, maybe my problem is that I have glossed over the fact is label is a component class, right? Label. Yeah, label's a component. Maybe I need to dynamic cast it as a component. Is that the problem? That might be the problem. Is that it's a label but it doesn't know that it's a component. Is that right? So what I need to do, dynamic cast. No. Okay, so then maybe it's a problem with, but okay, so it's probably a problem with paint cell then. Because that describes how to paint the cell, but I just put that to fill all to orange red. Okay, all right, let's do this then. Component, and then all right, JUCE label, by label. Now I just need to go back to here. I'm just going to put all this blah, blah. And I'll call this my label. And my label. Yes, okay. So will this compile? Okay. So now we will try this. Okay. So it, yeah, it didn't do it. It didn't. So it's a component now for sure, but it still doesn't paint it. So it creates a new one for sure, creates a new component, but where do you actually call, where does paint row background and paint cell get called? Is that in update content? Override paint. Ah, is this the problem? Maybe. Override paint here. G dot build. Choose colors. Yellow. My cell component. Ah, yeah, okay. Void paint. Choose graphics. G. Right. G dot fill. Choose colors. Yellow, green. Yes, that's right. How to make visible. That helps. My label. And then we will do this void resized. Override. G, so my label set bounds. It bounds. Okay, here we go. Still nothing. Yeah. Yeah, so let me, I'll add 2 rows. False. Winner. And will dbg get num rows. So what I don't understand about this is this paint row background and paint cell. If I'm doing this in the component, then why do I need that? That's what I don't get. Okay, so here we go. Changing this. 0. Okay. Well, that answers a question. Okay, so it's not creating the rows properly. All right, so let me call this then. Paint cell. G, row number 1, column ID 1, width 30, height 30, false. Paint cell G. But this isn't going to do anything because this doesn't actually like. Okay, so let's go back to the tutorial, right? Because I couldn't be calling these methods refresh component for cell, paint cell, etc. Got it. Okay, so they should just be looking at, so then they should just be looking at some data and so I guess they should be looking at some data and just like populating them. Yeah, it's not going to work because it's in. Let me just do this. Let's go into paint. Let me just do this. I just want to see something happen. Believe it or not, there was actually a point where I actually got something painting. Yeah, still nothing. Weird. I don't know. This is I think this has to be amongst one of the most bizarre classes that I've ever had to implement. Where do I actually set the background to black? Okay, so, okay, I'm painting the row background black, but everything is black. You notice that? So let's see, let's go back to where everything is let's just try to change the color of the background. Oh, I did it here. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so that changes it fine. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Yeah. I'm just going to take Tracklist cell and just see if I can put it directly on the um, on the main screen. So list cell, list cell. Then I will do add and make visible track list cell. Then I will go down here. So it should just be a big button that says blah. Okay, so that shows up. Yeah. This whole way that this list box, table box model, table box is all weird to me. Like this part was easy with the header. Why can't all the rest of the parts be like that? Yeah, I'm stuck. Hmm. I'm going to go from the top. So this is reading a data. This is reading data from an XML, but I don't think that should. That's just populating. Right. So this is just the header. Add a list. Yeah. What is this? Table tutorial component. Set text. User edits the text in the label. We receive a call back from text was edited function. We can call the help function set text to save the changes in the course. Now that doesn't, that's to set the XML. So that's the set and get. So that's all XML stuff. Okay. Set balance inset. Following function is called by. That's all XML stuff. That stuff doesn't matter. Hmm. Hmm. Actually make this, yeah, I made the list box. Add and made it visible. So what is this? Table get header sort column ID. Sorting column and column visibility is set by calling set sort column ID. That sort. Where is it? Set sort. Changes the column, which is the sort column. This is caused by an asynchronous callback to the table sort change method. This method doesn't call resort table. And no resort will take place. So you have to set sort column ID. Set sort. Set sort. Where is this thing? Oh, table header. List box. List box. Hit header. Set sort column ID. One through. I need to go back and bring it back in again. So I just need to get rid of tracklist cell again. Still nothing. Still nothing. That shouldn't even. Yeah, that shouldn't matter. Okay. First function to override is again. This function is necessary for the model. Ah, okay, maybe I haven't. Yeah, no. Yeah, that shouldn't matter though. Hmm. Function is necessary for the model to update the table properly. In order to fill those cells with content, we override the paint cell functions as follows. Yeah, I mean, following table update content. Hmm. So I think I see what the problem is. The problem seems to be that the table box list is observing data in this case. And when you make changes to the this is using an XML element. And when you're making changes to the XML element, then the changes are reflected in the table. That seems to be the problem. Well, that seems to be the way that it's been set up here, is that the table is observing what's happening with this XML element. And that when the XML element is this, the way this particular tutorial is written is written in a way that it's supposed to be looking at an XML element. But in my situation, I don't want to look at an XML element. I want to look at, well, I would like it. So what I would like to do is, well, the kind of naive first step that I was trying to think of was to look at a directory, find all of the audio files in that directory, and create a list from the directory. And then later on, you start thinking about the question, well, how can you add how could you have audio files from multiple directories? Then you would have to populate. You would have to have some type of table where you could drag new contents in and populate this new content. I mean, so it sounds like you need, underneath the hood, maybe you need some type of XML that just tracks, that just keeps a huge list of everything that you've brought in. So then maybe the first step is about maybe the first step is about seeing how you can take tracks from a directory and add the information, and just keep a list of the metadata. And then what you have is you would have this XML element, and then it just need to, then the next thing would be that if you're writing, you can actually write new metadata to the track within the app, and then that would update the XML document, which would then update the actual metadata in the track. Right. So maybe it's kind of taking a step back and saying, okay, can we create an XML that will just reflect or an XML where you could just add data to it, and that the data would keep track of the paths to the audio, to the directories where the audio files are actually located. then you edit the XML, and then that XML routes back to the audio file and updates the metadata in the audio file. Yeah, so okay, so then so then you create an XML document. So you created XML document. Then it's just about pulling in the metadata and having the attributes match up with the metadata that it sees on the audio on the audio side, right? So, okay. So then the next task is figuring out how to actually in JUCE look at an XML, populate XML. And then what would happen is that when you choose another directory to import, it just adds the track contents to the XML. Right? Okay, so I'm just going to take a look. And just see what. Okay, so let's just go to the XML class very quickly. Or just see what they have here. So this is a parser. Parses a text-based XML document and creates an element XML object from it. Okay. We have XML struct containing options for formatting the text when representing the XML element as a string. So write to great. Get string attribute, set attribute, remove attribute. Okay. Well, this seems pretty straightforward. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. But this has been a learning lesson for sure. I thought I was just going to be able to. So yeah. So I guess the lesson of the day there is that table list box is designed to reflect some data that that I guess already exists somewhere. And that it's just a reflection of that data. So that data being like an XML or possibly like JSON. So not really something to just, it doesn't really look like it's the type of class to just throw in like a bunch of components and just like create them and test them out. So so yeah, so that's kind of the lesson that I've learned for the day. Yeah, so next time what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at XML with JUCE and how to actually just populate the XML document, just get information from a directory. So yeah, so just a couple other comments. So we got JW, who says it's the same in iOS and Swift development. You can use an array to hold the data and then just update the data array and call refresh on the table view. Yes. Okay. So this is just maybe just a standard practice that maybe I'm just becoming familiar with. Yeah. So it's, I think if I had any kind of critical, like, so let's go back to table list box. I think if I had any type of criticism regarding this this class or the documentation for this class, it would be that it says basically a table of cells. So this just kind of my impression of this class when I was using it was that it's just some table of cells, and that you can just like push, you could just like manually create columns and rows and just populate them with components. But it looks more like this is built for observing a piece of data and then creating a visualization based on the data that it's observing. So, so that's interesting. So yeah, and like JW says, you don't really create the cells manually. There's a question from BBR that says, thinking about doing something like this for a computer science level project, do you think it might be too much for me to do in half a year? Well, I guess it depends on what you're looking to do in half a year. I mean, pretty much everything that I've done to this point, and I'll also push this code up to the repository, and so you can check it out. All of it's there, and you just, I would say, like, use it for inspiration, and yeah, extend off of it. So our commit message is going to be here, started adding table list box, and learned we need to create XML for the component to observe. This class is not meant for manually creating cells, so to speak. Okay, git push -u origin main. Like I said, yeah, it's a long commit name. Yeah, it is a long commit name. I thought I should explain it. But the actual code is in the GitHub. I hope that some people find it useful. This has been a 3.5 hour live stream in which I got not a whole lot done, but a strong learning lesson now. So yes, thank you to everybody who's watched, and yeah, we will see you next time.